What's happening, beautiful people?
I'm Ebony.
And I'm Nico.
And together,
we are
Ebonics.
Wow. Welcome back, y'all. In today's episode, we talking scenes from a marriage.
This is one of 5. It's gonna be a series.
It's gonna be a series. Yep. I think it's 1 of 5.
I think there's 5 episodes.
Yep. Not our marriage. Not scenes from our marriage. Scenes from a marriage. It is a HBO Max series that I watched one random night and was like, yo.
You're on your 3rd time.
Yeah.
Or
Yep.
2nd.
This 3rd. I was like, we gotta watch this. We gotta talk about this. Cause I was like, oh my gosh, and feelings and all that, and
Clutching pearls.
I was clutching pearls. I ain't got pearls. I was like, manly pearls.
Okay.
We're gonna talk about this mug and we're gonna dive in. We'd love for you all to join us. So
if you haven't seen episode 1, pause this, go watch it, and come back.
all right. And if you didn't, spoiler alert, we going in. Episode 1 is called Innocence and Panic. So when it opened up,
Do you think that name fits well?
Innocence and Panic. Yes.
What do you think was innocent? Or I'll ask that at the end, maybe.
Yeah, let's do it at the end. Recap.
If I remember.
So my first point. In the beginning, I thought he was more of a leader. Okay, well, we gotta explain the scene.
Okay.
And the scene,
I'm gonna write my note to come back to that question.
Jonathan and Mira are having an interview. They're being interviewed by someone basically doing research on couples.
It's for a college dissertation, I think.
Sure.
Yeah, it's about evolving gender roles effect on monogamous marriages.
So they're being interviewed. Jonathan seems to be excited about it. He was the one that was approached about it initially, and I think he volunteered them to do it.
Because he's a
Scholar.
Yeah, I forgot how
He's in education. He's a teacher or professor, one of them.
Mm-hmm.
But he was excited. You could tell from demeanor and all that, the way he was, trying to encourage Mira, because Mira did not want to be there.
No, she did not.
From the get-go, I didn't like Mira.
I won't say I didn't like her. I don't know her.
From that scene, it was like, just do it. Like, if you agree to it, just do it and get it over with. He said it was only like an hour. And she was just running, trying to find excuses.
Super insecure and secretive. It's like she didn't know what was okay to say and what was not okay to say.
Right.
Like she probably hasn't said it to her husband, but she's saying it to a stranger. And he's hearing it for the first time with the stranger.
It's like they're actually processing for the first time, like these things. At least she was.
Mm-hmm.
So the very first scene was Mira coming out of the bathroom. She's looking at some text message or something like that. Puts her phone away. She goes downstairs, and they're having an interview or continuing the interview, and it just picks right up. And from that moment, she's just kind of weird, kind of
dodgy.
It's like something's going on with her, but it is yet to be revealed. So yeah, I got in the beginning. He was more of a leader, just like how he was.
Like you do on the podcast.
Sure, speaking and kind of encouraging and pushing you to open up and be yourself, be comfortable, stuff like that. So I was like, okay, it's just kind of clear that he's the leader of the two.
In this arena, anyway.
From what I've seen.
In the home.
Yeah. He spoke to her. He spoke for her and often kept the conversation going without her.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like me. Yeah. Mira is the breadwinner. Mm-hmm. She's a VP of product management in her job. Jonathan's a teacher. He's more of a caregiver for their daughter, Ava.
He's the caregiver.
He's the caregiver.
She is at work a lot and traveling. He's her primary caregiver.
Yes. From the jump, it seems like she's making excuses for not being at home. So they discussed their relationship dynamic and how him being, what is it, non-traditional marriage or family style or whatever.
Roles.
Gender roles.
That's why the lady wanted to talk to them.
Specifically. Okay, right. And for me, I thought it was super refreshing because you see that on TV, and it's always like the timid guy and the strong female, if she's the one doing it. But the way he was kind of like taking lead, it felt like he was still kind of, I won't say alpha male, but just confident. He didn't come off timid to me like most men in on TV in these positions.
I put that she seemed uncomfortable with the way working made her look as a mother. She used a lot of language to defend her choices. Yes,
I said it doesn't seem like she's 100% happy and proud of this.
Of what?
Of her being away and in this role. It's like she likes it, but like when we talk about it, she was like, it's making her look bad. And
yeah, I think she loves her job. I think she only is concerned with how other people perceive her.
That's good. That's good. They start going more in depth about who they are.
The first question the lady asked was, how do you define yourself? What are the elements that make up your definition?
And he said Jewish, even though he's stepped away from his faith. So he talked about how he's like, because he was actually surprised when he said Jewish first, even though he's no longer following.
I don't think he said it first, but he didn't say husband once.
At all?
No. But he said Jewish, which he don't even practice. And he said asthmatic.
He said
he
father.
Said dad. He did not say husband.
I didn't know that. Look at you.
That was real trash.
He's put on the spot.
Okay. She's next to him.
That's true. He was engaged before.
I missed that.
So yeah, early on, they talked about it in college. When he was a devout Jewish man, he was engaged. So I don't know if that was like just kind of hooked up or planned or something like that. Because at that point he had never been with a female, never touched a female, never communicated until they got into that class together. That's where he met Mira, and they became cool.
What class?
They were in
a college course.
College course together. Yep, that's where they met. And it's crazy because he's here, and then she's this party girl. She's dating a rock star, real popular dude. So he didn't think that they were compatible at all, but I guess he thought she was pretty. But they were friends, just like me and you.
Another thing I picked up on was that she said she's a mother twice because she wanted to make sure she didn't forget to say it.
Okay, you really, it's really interesting what you're paying attention to. Like, and how.
I think that is like a deep insecurity.
The motherhood situation?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Did you also notice when the daughter ran in the room, she ran to her dad, and the mom, like, intercepted her.
Yeah.
Girl, let me go.
She kept trying to, like, be involved in setting her up.
The girl TV show went off. The daddy went to go change it, and she was like, oh, let me help you. We don't need help.
That's true.
Girl.
She was really like trying to dodge that mug or not be alone. She didn't want the spotlight on her for real. It was like
she did not want to participate.
She didn't want nothing to do with that mug.
When the interview started, she was like, what is... I forgot what question the lady asked. I'm trying to see if I wrote it down. But she was like, why do you need, like, what are you doing with these answers? Like, why do you want to know the answers to this question? She didn't just answer the question. She wanted to know how the responses would be used in the paper.
Was this the question regarding a successful marriage?
I think so. What was it?
It was like, how would you all determine or define?
What is the primary factor contributing to the success of your marriage?
You was in that mug. Taking all the notes. You got exactly what she asked. I'm going to paraphrase them horribly.
That's the one that got her really student. Like, whatever. Feeling away. I
feel like she didn't agree with his perception of what a successful marriage was. He just kept going on and kind of giving his definition, and she was just kind of to the side like,
He said marriage is a platform allowing both individuals to develop as individuals. It's a means, not an end.
Yeah. I don't think she agreed with that. Just her body language, facial expressions was just like, But then when she was given the opportunity, she didn't really give a full, complete answer. And she tried to escape the room again by, let me go help them with the TV. So, very awkward. The lady said that the average marriage, the interviewer said the average marriage in the U.S. is 8.2 years. I thought that was extremely sad.
Why?
It's not long. I mean, if you think about it, at this point, even if you did have a kid early on, your kid is 7 years old.
Elementary school.
And having to travel from home to home. It's unfortunate for the family dynamic.
You're assuming that the parents live separately. There are divorced people that live together for their kids.
Yeah. I'm sure it's a bunch of family dynamics out there that we are not aware of. But just like the fact that a lot of marriages don't make that 10-year mark, we've seen it. It ain't easy, so I can understand.
Mira agrees. She says simply staying married is a low bar, no? What do you think?
What?
You think staying married is a low bar, or do you think it's really hard?
Absolutely, staying together is a low bar. Back in the day, people used to just stay together because, first of all, women, they didn't even have the ability to build their lives for real. So where else you gonna go type of mentality. Mm-hmm. Super whack. A lot of people stay together for reputation, for the sake of their reputation. They don't want to be tarnished or labeled a certain way. Like, that's whack. People stay together for the kids. So mm-hmm. It's like the kids, but what about you as, you and your trauma and issues, that stuff that you got to work through. Like, that's tough. So it's sticky. I've never been divorced. I don't even feel like I have the authority to speak on that. Mm-hmm. The right to. It's complicated. You think that's a low bar? Mm-hmm. What do you think? What's the question that she asked? About the success?
What's the primary factor contributing to the success of your marriage?
Answer that for us.
I highlighted it so you could answer it.
But I asked you first.
You didn't.
I literally just asked you.
I don't know. The things that were going through my mind were the fact that we were like legit friends first. Because when we're not getting along, that's usually the icebreaker. Is something ridiculous that reminds us that we're friends. I was just talking to somebody saying, this is a quote I heard, that a lot of the super, super long marriages stay married because both people didn't quit at the same time. I think that has proven true.
A couple things that came to mind, because I don't know either. A couple things that came to mind for me was our friendship, our beliefs, like actual faith. At one point, kids.
I wouldn't stay married for kids.
I stuck around during a drought because I wanted to show the kids something different. But I don't know if that would have been substantial enough for like long term. So one of those situations where I didn't have it in me, looked at the kids, and that was motivation for me to just like, okay.
You know how some people get married and they're like, this might work, this might not work. Or like, is this the right person? I don't know. I don't struggle with that at all.
Struggle if I'm the right person? We in it now.
People say that who are in it. What do you mean?
Well, that's true.
I know I'm supposed to be married to you.
Why do you
if
know
it's
that?
not like forever, it's a different story. That I don't know. But I have zero doubts that I, Ebony Sierra Lachey, formerly Moore, was supposed to marry you.
Now you're even more, baby.
So that's another one. I've never been in the where like, man, did I make a mistake? I've never had those thoughts to myself. Maybe that helps me.
That's dope. I don't think I've had, like, well, mine was primarily based off of fear. Like, are we gonna last type of stuff? Did I make a mistake by actually trying when all I've seen is, and all I know is just.
So yours is, did I make a mistake getting married, period?
Yes.
Versus me.
Yeah, it's not. It's never
not
been
a mistake.
That back. Tuck that. Bring you down a little bit. No, so mine has just been more like marriage, the concept of it itself, never you. Even though I was like, man, we just can be roommates, co-parent. I felt that way before. Oh, the scene.
The last question,
right?
And before the scene changed, because they might have been kept going.
Right.
In real time.
That's true.
To what extent are you committed to monogamy? And they both got very uncomfortable. First, this is another thing I noticed. Her body language was super disconnected. She wasn't touching him unless he touched her first. It's like everything was a response. She didn't initiate anything at all.
She touched him to tell him to stop when he had said something. She was just like, just.
But was he already like this?
I think. Well, I don't know. I just know she touched his hand. I was just like no. But if that's the only kind of touch you giving to shut him up, or.
It was like, a peek into their disconnection as a couple.
And it's
or
almost,
at least hers. He seemed fine.
And it's fun. That question caught them off guard. Like, big time. And
I don't know why. It's about monogamous couples with non-traditional roles. Why wouldn't she ask that?
And what is it again?
What is what?
The question. The last question.
To what extent are you committed to monogamy?
To what extent are you committed to monogamy?
I'm all for it. Dating one man, and I'm counting you because we're still dating. One is enough of a headache. It's exhausting. I don't know how people even deal with more than one person. I don't understand.
do you think that it's possible to deal with more than one person?
People do it every day. Are you talking about me? I know it's possible.
Do you think it's possible for somebody to be, for a partner like you to be with somebody that is capable of handling more and it being okay?
Like, would I be okay with being monogamous and having my partner be open?
Correct. Because if it's enough for you, one person, what if for me it's
like
not enough?
To make you happy, would I be like, sure?
Back in the day, your capacity, you was just like, look, I ain't got it in me to be there for you.
To mother drought.
The way you need the drought, sure. Which, I mean, but that was just kind of like a temporary situation. I'm talking like a long term. Yeah, permanently. Because that right there would have been like, yes, like definitely step in, great. But could that be something long term that you can deal with? What if one wasn't enough for me? What if I needed something else?
I have no idea.
What's some thoughts? What's going on in your head?
What's going on in my head is you're already all over the place. So when would we even see you? If you add a whole nother woman, who she ain't also out here in the streets. So you're her only option. So that means she's going to be requiring attention and time and finances and nigga no. So on that, I'm like, And then also, I don't trust people. You ain't bringing nothing home to me.
I knew that was going to be a big factor.
Gigantic. Yeah.
So if I were home more,
and I am
more
not
free,
trying to be looking like you ain't even watching it, but Sweet Magnolias, this man got kids with 3 different women in this little town, and they was accidents.
Oh wow, okay. Well, you're definitely trying to be Nick Cannon out here.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right. So as they kind of were caught off guard by that last question,
we don't hear their answer. It just cuts to the next scene.
Yeah.
Which is a dinner party with their friends.
And their friends are
in an open marriage.
Yeah, they're polyamorous.
Mm-hmm.
During that dinner party where they're talking about it, it comes out that, the man in that relationship, did he cheat, or to avoid cheating, his wife agreed to him.
The husband had a history of philandering, so they opened their marriage up. He had a history of being a busybody. He out in the streets.
Was he
spreading seeds.
Was he cheating?
Yeah.
Okay, that's why I didn't know if he was cheating or was this done to prevent him from cheating.
So as a way to make sure his needs are met, I guess, they decided to both be open to other sexual partners.
And she brought up a couple different women that he had been with. The wife was with a guy, I think his name was Nathan or something like that. And she basically expressed how, or
she fell in love with the side piece.
But she shared that he had broken up with her.
And then
and that she had been depressed. Yeah, and she was in love with him.
She's heartbroken, and she's trying to talk to her husband about her boyfriend dumping her, and he's pouting about it. He's
like, because he didn't fall in love or whatever.
He's just sleeping with chicks.
Yeah.
It's not emotional on his side.
Right. So for him, he's like, it's almost like there was some kind of offense, like she crossed the line or something like that. So he wasn't happy about her falling in love. yada yada. She's hurt. He's not there for her. So it was like completely different than.
And this is like spilling out at the dinner table.
Yeah.
He don't even want to talk about it. And she like, no, I'm not finna keep acting like we're a happy, successful couple because we're not.
And the other couple, they're just sitting there like, yo.
Yikes.
Yeah. So Jonathan, he's low key entertained by it. He's that kind of asking questions and definitely it's I don't say piquing his interest, but it's new to him. It's not a life that he's familiar with, so he's like asking.
He said that since he did grow up a devout Jew, he has trained himself to suppress desire.
His friend was like, "Oh, gross." It was like I think I wrote that down.
He literally recoiled.
Yeah,
and was like, that amount of repression is not healthy.
I think I wrote that down. His friend said, "Is eros more important than free will?" Because he's basically he was asking Jonathan about the repression of the desires that he had.
Basically saying marriage doesn't make you less attracted to people. So what do you do about it?
And he was like, it's at that point, it's just all about the right person at the right time. And I was just like, these are two different like beliefs.
Mm-hmm.
And like they're not going to ever agree on this point just because their point or their stance. Yeah. But it's actually very interesting to have like to see friends with completely different views, you know, and it was refreshing to actually see that happening, being talked about.
But the guys seemed more like a free-flowing conversation. The girls also had to disagree. So the blow up at the dinner table, the wife leaves the table because she like, you know what, I'm finna call a car. I'm finna leave. I'm sick of talking about this. Like they're finna leave the house. They go upstairs and the wife is crying and Mira's like chasing her up the stairs and trying to comfort her. But then they get into it because Mira is like, it's no way you're happy like this.
Real judgy.
And you're not thinking about your kids. Like this can't be good for them.
Yeah.
So they got into it as well. Upstairs.
It was like Mira was basically her judgment was coming to light. It was super thick. And her friend was like, well, this works for us basically. And I mean, it's just super interesting to see Mira like speaking so quick. Kate, wow, okay. Speaking about that, when it came to her own relationship, she didn't have a lot to say. So I was just like, oh, now you want to speak on relationships when it's not yours. I was a little bothered by that.
It's like, you know how you can do something or try something, but somebody else is too scared to. So they just spend the whole time like, I can't believe you would do that, or why would you even try that? Kind of
fishing. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
It's like that. It's like she is unhappy in her marriage, but she's not doing anything about it. And I don't think she's honest about what she even wants to try to do about it. Mm. So seeing somebody else actually go for it is irritating and scaring her because it's crashing and burning.
Yeah. So you got Kate upstairs trying to avoid her husband. Peter is his name. Kate is upstairs being, I guess, and in Mirror, they're talking, they're kind of calming down. Pete and Jonathan are downstairs talking and they're having their own conversation. So after the ladies get done having their moment or whatever, they come back down, reconnect with the guys, and you can just kind of hear the conversation that the guys are having, how he's talking about the wife, and she's like kind of blaming her, and like she's tripping, and like it was like you could tell he's drunk at this time, and
him and his wife drunk.
They was
she
both
kissed
drunk,
her friend.
but he was just like at that point he was just kind of saying some some foul stuff.
Kate is drunk and sad enough to kiss Mira in the mouth. They started making out.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
I think Mira liked it.
Mira
got scared.
Again, Mira don't know what she wants.
I think she freaked herself out because she did not pull away.
She really didn't. Initially, it was a kiss.
That was so random.
But they came back downstairs. Jonathan and Peter are talking, and then Peter, that's when they start going in about desires and repression and all that stuff. And he's just so like caught off guard, the alcohol and all that. He's just talking loud. Ended up waking up the baby who was upstairs, Mira and them kid, and they're like pissed. So they basically ends the night. Mira goes upstairs, check on her, and they're leaving. Their car arrives, and night is over. And then they get to the bedroom, Jonathan and Mira.
First, they do their little wind down.
They
fell right into a routine.
It's very routine like. So they shut down. They get into the bathroom and they, brush their teeth and all that stuff. And at that point, you can see Jonathan's super organized and he straightened everything. Definitely.
And she looked annoyed.
She looked at it like.
It's like when you so over your spouse, stuff just start pissing you off. Like what are you mad for?
Yeah. That's why I was like, it was like little things throughout the whole first episode. I was just like, dog, what is she on? What is she up to? Why is she feeling this way? Why is she looking like that? And like, you could just tell it's something.
Not saying it.
Right.
Something I put down. That girl, first of all, Peter would have got kicked out of my house way before they kicked him out. I don't care if he was drunk on the porch.
It was loud. I was like, oh, God, that wasn't cool.
She changed out of some beige outfit she had on all day into a beige pajama set. She took off a beige bra. I was like, Jesus Christ, you already pale? She looks sad.
First of all, look,
in her clothes.
It's way better than that moo-moo.
What you talking about?
Yo, look.
What moo-moo?
That moo-moo that's not here. It's not here. Is it still here?
Grandma?
Yeah.
That looked cute.
Oh. Anyway, they get to the bedroom. Jonathan got his book he's reading. I mean, it's just routine city in this mug. Mira joins him in the bed, and she's sitting there super awkward, like she's about to just release some news. And he picks up on it. He's like, "What's up?" And she shares, she's pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
Did you think that?
That she was pregnant?
Mm-hmm.
No. I had no idea that's what she was doing when it opened. I did think it was random they started with the bathroom scene. Right. But I couldn't tell she was pissing on the stick.
And then me going back and seeing it for the second time. When they toast at the dinner table, she put the wine down and grabbed, boom, that actually showed that. And I didn't
pick up on that. It was too much going on.
It's one of the things to where looking back at the show, you're going to pick up on a lot of things. So I was just like, oh, that right there. She's pregnant. And the way they go about it, it was just like, do they want it or not? Are they excited? It was so confusing.
It's like neither of them wanted to say their thoughts out of fear of disagreeing with the other person.
Especially Mira, though.
Mm-hmm. Because she's already insecure as a mother.
She was like,
she don't want this baby. And she didn't want to say it.
They also brought up the fact that this is one thing that I wrote down. So she said that she had mixed feelings about the pregnancy. He seemed excited, and like, because he wanted kids. Mm-hmm. Like, that's his thing. But as they started to talk about, like, oh, what would it be like? They mentioned the first pregnancy and how she was after she had Ava, their first kid, and talking about how I treated you and how you kind of retreated away from me because of how I treated you. And it was just like she wasn't in a good space and all that. He was like, I don't blame you. And it was just like that. Like, I instantly thought about the drought for us and how your body reacted to being pregnant, and just a whole thing, season that we went through where you weren't your normal self. And you retreated, I retreated. It was just like that. They had a drop.
She's triggered.
She's triggered for sure.
I would be triggered. I am terrified to ever be pregnant again. That was one of the worst experiences of my life.
But do you want another
feeling
kid?
Out of my mind.
But if you knew that the pregnancy would not be like that, would you have another kid?
I don't know. I think I have enough going on.
All right, because if I get this snip,
I'm not gonna be mad.
okay.
If I get that baby nuts, we can go pick one up.
I'm like, if you get the baby nuts, I was like, okay, I got you.
I don't see me going that bonkers for a baby or a kid, period.
Hey, I'm here for adoption.
I just meant like a nephew, pick him up. No, I didn't. I'm just kidding.
She was like, wait, sir, wait.
I'm kidding. I meant adoption.
I was like, they had a drop, and I understand
and they look like they have not recovered. And
yes.
Ava is not 2 years old anymore. That was from the first 2 years of her life. How old do you think she
4.
is now?
She was 4 at that point.
Well, they're 2 years removed and still haven't recovered. Which makes sense. We're 3 years removed and still not fully recovered. I don't think.
More on that later, because I definitely want to talk about that. I thought we was coming out. I thought we was straight.
If you say coming out.
You're right. Yeah. Okay. You're right. I think it also exposed some stuff that we didn't know about each other. So I feel like it's more on that. We're going to come back to that.
Huh?
Okay. Yeah. Put a pin in it.
All right.
After all the talking, they very, I don't want to say reluctantly, but awkwardly agreed that they was going to have a kid. So.
I feel like he made a safe space for her to speak freely, though.
He did. He was like, you have a lot going on. I think he said that at one point, like, you are the one, you got, like, this is going to be a lot on you. And he was really like, I'm putting it in your court without trying to pressure her. He's like, you could tell he wanted to express his excitement or whatever, like he wanted it, but he didn't want it to sway her.
Overwhelm her.
Yeah. Sway her decision. So, anything else on that point? Or that scene?
I wrote a note. So she took a test, found out she was pregnant, so she's triggered already. Then she does the interview, triggers her again. Then her friends, she's pissed off and triggered again. And then they finally have a conversation at the end of a horrible day for her.
That whole day? You think that was the whole day?
I mean, she might have had more stuff that she did before that. But that was all saying, one day.
One day, okay. Yeah, that was a hell of a day.
But we've had those. That's the only note I had. That sometimes you just gotta have these really heavy conversations, and there's not a time to have them. Like you have to function through your day, carrying whatever, and then still have energy to have hard, awkward conversations.
So you don't think that was... So you're trying to say that even though she found that out, let's say she found that out in the text when she, in the beginning of the scene, maybe that was when she got the answer, and she went downstairs.
To an interview. The lady was sitting in their living room.
Yeah. But she was so, I guess, triggered, caught off guard that she didn't even tell him between the interview and dinner.
Right. Now that I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so it was some point in the day that she could probably have said it.
Maybe.
But
he might have took his daughter somewhere.
True.
Like,
Yeah, but all of that on
just
top
be
of
them
it,
days.
she finally let it out. Next scene, they were at the doctor's office.
I feel like the way he said, "Oh, I want this." The words he said was, "I think we can handle it."
Yes, I think we can handle it.
That just sounds very flimsy.
His timidness was showing. But at the same time, it was kind of hard to read because I was just like, dude, say it. But considering how unsure she was.
And then right after they agreed, he had an asthma attack.
Right. Right.
That would have
That's
destroyed
true.
my confidence in his decision. If I'm already scared, then you like, we can do this, and then you can't breathe.
You panic. But it's who he is, though.
Panic.
But that's who he is.
Whatever. An asthmatic. Next scene.
At the doctor's office. And she's getting an abortion.
Yep. About to pop some pills.
Yep. After discussion about keeping the baby, they ended up getting an abortion.
I don't even think she called it that. I think she literally said, "This isn't an abortion. I'm just taking pills." We can go back and double check.
Yeah, we gotta double check.
I feel like those words came out of Mira's mouth.
I remember that. If she
did,
really did not. I'm about to say, that's crazy. But watching their demeanor was very interesting, especially Jonathan's. Like,
it's super clear immediately he is not on board.
It's clear as day. He offers to go get something out of the vending machine, and while he's at the vending machine, I don't know if this was something. Maybe this is just me and my imagination.
He was grieving, staring at chips. Just
when he pushed it and the thing dropped out, he just stopped, and I was just like, I don't know. For me, it was just like baby aborted. I don't know. For me, I was just like, he stopped, and just at that moment, it was just like, we're
like
here,
a
we're
visual representation.
Yeah, for me, that's what that was. He stopped. Doctor was loud. In a break, the doctor was the one that kind of snapped him out of his moment. Ended up going back in there, and he just wouldn't even.
Before he even left out the room, she was like talking to him and trying to make jokes and like be lighthearted, and he didn't give her nothing.
Yeah, it was.
Then he left to get random snacks that she was like, I don't need anything. She
kept saying, I don't want anything, and he didn't end up going anyway. It was like they weren't on the same page. They weren't connecting. Then
they came back in and explained everything that was going to happen to her after she takes it, all the side effects, and the recovery process. And then,
yikes, by the way. Just
the doctor said, something like, do you still want to, is this still the plan? Like, ain't no coming back from this.
Yeah.
And he looked at her.
He did.
He didn't even answer.
I think at that point, it was just like, again, the ball is in your court.
That sucks for y'all. A lot of dudes.
There's just a lot of dudes whose babies were aborted based off of the mother's decision. I really don't know
how I feel about that. I don't think it's fair that dudes get no say. No. Like, if she don't want it, if I want to be a daddy from the bottom of my heart, the fact that I can't carry it removes my decision. Yeah. That sucks.
Yeah. But you saying that dudes have no say, so meanwhile you got dudes. I don't want to get political. It's staying here.
I was going to say, where is this going?
I mean, you got the fact that the whole Roe v. Wade stuff, and it's just silly.
You losing me. I don't even know what you talking about.
I forgot. You in politics is just abortion and women's body, and most of the people in Congress and stuff
who making choices don't have
are
to carry
men.
Babies.
These are guys. Yeah, these are men making decisions for women's body. That's what I'm saying. But from the point of the dad, yes, I know for sure. I've known some dads who had their babies aborted because the mom did not want to carry, and that's very unfortunate.
I'm gonna move on before I cry. After the doctor asked that question, and he just looked at her, and he lied. I don't even remember the words he used. He was just like, "Oh yeah, this is, you know." Oh, I think he said, "I don't think there's one way we haven't had this conversation, or like from any perspective."
She said that, and he agreed to that.
He just being a yes man, basically. And it is, if the roles was reversed, if I wanted my baby and you offed my baby, we're done. How do we recover from this?
I don't know. I don't know.
I personally, I could not.
Personally, could not what off the kid?
Recover.
I mean, that's tough.
Yeah.
That's very tough.
I would be out.
I mean, that's like even right now, like you don't want to be pregnant again. I have 2 kids. I wanted 4 originally.
Mm-hmm.
That was before I had kids.
Mm-hmm.
Having kids is tough.
We both wanted 4 kids.
Diaper phase sucks. No.
Diaper phase compared to this is easy.
The sleepy phase.
Well, I slept.
Sucks. I did not. Sucks. For both of them. My sleep. Meanwhile, over here, baby, but I'm grabbing tit and baby sometimes.
Pop it in there.
It's not the easiest thing to do. And then you jumping like man, this was extremely unfortunate.
But if they hadn't have gotten an abortion, the resentment could have gone the other way. She could be like, anytime something go wrong, I didn't even want this.
Well,
that's your baby. You go get it.
She killed the baby, so therefore,
no, they did.
Yeah, well, because he did not like say, "Hey, this is where I stand."
He didn't advocate for the child.
Yes, because he agreed and just went on with it. That is his fault. He can't bring it up later. It was just like, "Well, I didn't really want it." Well, you should have spoke up at that point. So that's not really fair. She took the pills and asked for, and as she took the pill and put the drink to her lip, his head went down. Like, he couldn't look at it.
Because it's done.
Yeah, it's done.
Unless she gag herself right now, there is no turning back.
And then she basically, asked for space.
She said, and she was like, "Can I just be alone for a minute?" He couldn't have got up faster.
Right. Gather her stuff. He was like, "Yep, I'll see you at home, babe."
He didn't leave. She told him to leave. And he was like, "No." He was in the waiting room.
Oh, okay.
She said she'd catch a cab or something, but he didn't leave her there.
Gotcha. But, yeah, she put that blanket over her head and she started weeping.
But them meds kicked in quick.
All right, she
said, "I don't know if it's the power of suggestion." Because the lady said you could get nauseous, but she looked terrible immediately.
Yeah, man. But that was the episode.
I said I would have cried as well, but I don't know if I would want to be alone or not. I have no idea how I would feel. I think that I don't think she was 100% sold on not wanting a kid. I think she was 100% sold on not wanting the impact of a kid on her marriage.
Gotcha.
So I think she was grieving the loss as well of this child.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I agree. Because again, especially with the dynamic of their relationships.
I think she felt alone in the choice, so she wanted to do it alone. There's no way she didn't know he wasn't on board.
Yeah, that we can see it clearly. But
as sensitive as she is, she can see it. It's literally no way I won't be convinced.
that
I'll
mug
be
is just
grieving
crazy.
the pain that I was feeling in the moment, physically and emotionally. And you know, when stuff happened to my body, I freaks out. So I would be scared. I would probably cry thinking about all the stuff the doctor said was gonna happen that didn't even happen yet.
When I saw that part, I was like, dang, I was like, it's a lot of women that gone through that. And I'm like, that's a lot, yo. And then it says they experienced blood clots, and I was just like, oh, I was like, this is just a lot.
I put that out also grieve. Outside of the pain, I would grieve my kid, the lack of support from Jonathan, because it was not there, and fear of resentment.
We'll see.
I would be crying for all that at once.
It was just so much for it. So when you first watched the show, what would you think?
Say that different.
When you watched episode 1,
the first time. What did I expect from the rest of the show?
Give me a thought that wrapped up what you experienced, what you saw. I'm asking you because I know, number one, you don't like heavy stuff like this. You need this stuff broken up. You need rom-coms and, you know, that kind of stuff. You don't necessarily like all this heavy stuff.
Actually, stuff that I just cannot is like addict addiction. A whole bunch of bang bang shoot 'em up. I can watch that. It's just not super fun to me to watch. But I love watching shows where I get to look into a life that I will never experience.
You hope.
No, I'm not going to experience this show.
What you mean?
Period. Like, I
can't get pregnant.
Dreams of being a fly on the wall in so many homes. Like, the stuff that goes on behind closed doors is madness. There are things that I will literally never encounter, never understand, even if I do encounter it. I just like seeing life.
Do you think that you could be the breadwinner and I be the stay-at-home parent?
Yeah. Do you?
What?
I don't think I could do that if it was like a 9 to 5, like her job. No. If I got my own business where I set my own pace, then yes.
I think
I don't want to only see my kids a couple hours at the end of the day.
I'm not doing homeschooling by myself, so
you wouldn't have to.
I'm just saying. So that's the only part of being at home.
Why do you think you would have to homeschool? If you're the stay-at-home parent, I'm not gonna make you homeschool.
I'm just saying. I'm just switching our roles right now. You homeschool.
Okay.
Like right now, I'm like that's number one. We gonna find somebody. We got to find somebody to step in, or their education. It's. Sorry, kids. Like, it's not my gift. After we do ABCs and numbers, basic maths, some reading, all this new stuff, not pops. So we're gonna have to get somebody else in. But I love spending time with the kids. We'll go places, we'll do things. I will need something still of my own. You know,
he has that. Jonathan does.
Yeah, I mean, I would just need something. I still like. He's a teacher. He enjoyed that, but he writes and stuff from home. Like a lot of that. Me, I would need something of my own. I wouldn't be. I can be a stay-at-home mom that like didn't have a job type of situation. I'm trying to think of the different dynamics. So stay at home, boom, 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 versus that. Polyamorous, no for you. I don't want to jump the gun. It was just a lot in this first episode already.
Something we didn't talk about that I wrote down was at the dinner table, Peter was like trying to hush Kate. And she wasn't going for it.
Not at all.
But I'd be interested to see, because it's happened before, when you can tell one spouse is not on board with opening their business up, and the other one is like an open book.
Yeah.
That'd be weird. It'd be like awkward. Have I ever done that to you?
Yeah, I mean, we had moments where it was just like, because it was mainly like, it was during that time where I felt like you weren't doing, I don't want to say doing a great job, let me reword that. I don't think you were communicating to me.
You was hearing stuff with everybody else.
That too, that was a big piece, but it was also like you were telling them certain things and having like, I feel like you have more communication, open communication with your friends than me. You'll take stuff to them first, and I wouldn't get that. And then by the time it does get to me or say it, like, it's just this. It's like, oh, what y'all talking about? Oh, we just talking about this. But the conversation is a lot, and I'm just missing all the details and context, which meant I was missing out on a lot of you that I wanted to know. And yeah, but it wasn't TMI for me. I'm open, but I don't care about that. It was just, I was a little jealous on like, yo, talk to me first. Like, dang, how they get, why they know this? Shoot. What about you?
Ask me a question.
Yep.
I don't remember what I
don't
asked
remember
you.
a question either. So, some of the lines of, nope, ain't got it. Oh, you said something about one person in a relationship telling, being more of an open book than the other person.
You have never said anything that I thought was too much or like over the line. But sometimes if I'm like sick of talking about something or like burned out on even processing it myself, and then you bring it up in group setting and now we're all talking about it, sometimes I just be like,
do I know that?
And other people don't say nothing. You be like, what you think? Like dragging me in, and I just be like, boy, you don't leave me the hell alone.
I mean, want to know what you think. Shoot. And you don't be quick to talk.
Go. You go first. You go first.
This impression is trash.
Well,
You go first.
thank y'all for tuning into another episode. I'm excited about this. I feel like getting the opportunity, like you said, to peek into somebody else's relationship, experience. It's very interesting. It kind of gives us a lot to kind of talk about, get the conversation started, and hopefully y'all can join us in the fun. And we would love to hear from y'all. Like, what do you think about their relationship? Picture yourself being in their shoes. What could you deal with? What couldn't you deal with? Is
what
Mirror trash? Are you Mirror? Is Jonathan weak, or is I want to hear it all. So just make sure y'all join us. We're gonna try to keep these episodes a little shorter. If they go longer, we might end up just keeping them within Patreon, just so they can have exclusive content. And who knows, man? I don't know. I don't know. We might give it to y'all, but we definitely want to do things a little different. keep them a little shorter. So be on the lookout. If we end up not keeping the full episode, you might have to join the Patreon to see the rest. So follow us there at We Are Ebonics. Till next time. Peace.
Now I can say peace up, A-Town down.